Hey guys, hope everyone's well. It's your boy M.K.S here, back again with another video. Hope some people out there will enjoy it. Anyway, I thought I'd talk about my ideal day, so to speak, like an ideal day in my life, like what would be ideal for me. So this is something I've been thinking about. So it would be different on different days because I normally like to do different things on different days. Like on a Monday, I like to do different things to a Tuesday and so forth. So I normally like to have a certain theme for each day, and even like each specific date because certain numbers remind me of certain things. So as today is the 24th, I thought I'd talk about what would my ideal day be like. Obviously, there's 24 hours in a day. So anyway, here goes. So as I say, each day would probably be very different to the last. So so like a Monday would be different to, as I say, a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and that sort of thing. So number one, I'd love to be able to wake up a lot earlier and have more energy to like sort of take on my projects and just write whatever sort of thoughts and ideas come to my mind and like sort of put things into practice a bit more. And I forgot to say in the intro that I'd like to spend like an hour on a lot of these things, but obviously there's only 24 hours in a day. So if I come up with my usual list of 30, which I normally break up into 3 parts, it would be obviously difficult to, especially with the amount of time I sleep, unfortunately, it would be difficult to do as many of these things. Like a lot of these things I wouldn't be able to do for like a full hour. Unfortunately, there's only 24 hours in a day, and that seems like a fair amount of time, but when you take on quite a lot, it's like quite, it's not as much as you think. And also, a lot of people who are really driven, who are successful in business or certain things like that, say that you should only focus on like 1 or 2 things, not so many. Unfortunately, I normally try and take on a list of 30 things, but I generally say whatever I don't do on one day, I'll try and do on another day. But I do put a lot of pressure on myself and feel a bit bad if I didn't get a certain amount of things done on a certain day. But yeah, obviously, if you take on so many things, you won't be able to get as many done as you would like. But yeah, I'd love to be able to start putting into practice a lot of my projects and ideas and that sort of thing. Number 2, I'd love to learn things that I'm actually like things that I'm going to use, learn as much as I can, like how to I think it would be quite ironic as someone who's not that good at technology, like supporting parts of Africa, or as much as Africa as possible, and Aborigines and Maoris in terms of technology. But maybe I should learn that sort of stuff. But mostly, I'd love to encourage people from Africa to learn that kind of thing for themselves. But if I did learn it, it would be mainly to teach people in those countries and go over to those to teach people in as many parts of Africa as possible, and that sort of thing. Number 3, I'd love to do like as much writing and on paper as well as typing as possible. Preferably, I'd love to write for at least an hour a day if I could. On paper and like get my thoughts onto paper. A lot of time I do have writer's block, or because I try and take on too much, you could say, with all the stuff I do on Facebook and stuff like that, with like sharing my ideas with people from Africa and Asia. It is quite difficult to get an hour's writing. It's a lot more difficult than I think. A lot of time, unfortunately, I don't quite get to do that, but I hope I will be able to get around to coming up with ideas and finding the ability to find the time to do at least an hour's writing each possible day. Number 4, I'd love to do more like exercise or working out. I normally go for at least 1 walk a day, but I'd love to do like possibly at least an hour or so, or at least half an hour of exercise each day. Like nowadays the gyms are closed, but at least like I normally try and do like short sprints in my sitting room, although it's not that big. In my lounge, it's like just jogging from one side to the other, but like do like quite a few of them, like 30 laps there and back. It seems like 30 is my favorite number, but it's just like a number I have that helps me to organize my lists and that sort of thing. My plans and priorities. Number 5, on that note, I'd love to work on my goals for at least an hour a day. Again, as many hours as possible, as many hours as I can find. Possibly, if I can do a lot of these things for more than an hour, it'd be great as well. So I say at least an hour, but like working on my goals and trying to develop my plans, see how I can put them into practice, like helping what I call the 4 or the 6 nowadays, and also Italian football and Celtic, like looking at ways to fundraise for those things and like generally support the charities I want to support. And on different days it'd be like different themes, but I'd love to find ways to work on things like supporting African startups and S.M.E.s and things like that, and Asian startups and S.M.E.s as well. And also different projects like that, like helping to come up with ideas to provide clean water for Africa and Asia and things like that. Number 6, I'd love to talk about like my plans and ideas for Italian football for, again, as many hours as possible a day, like, or at least half an hour or so, or preferably more. But again, it's like, because I take on so much, it's difficult to plan to see how many things I could, how much time I could spend. So although I'd love to spend an hour on those things, it depends on, like, obviously how much time I spend on other things, and then and that sort of thing. Number 7, again, with my patterns and lists, I normally like to sleep at 7 o'clock because it reminds me of the biblical number 7, like resting on the 7th, and these sort of crazy, quirky, admittedly rather strange habits I have. Number 8, again, I'd love to do as much exercise as possible, and I normally like to go for walks, not necessarily for, like, I normally go for at least half an hour to an hour, like walking and that sort of thing. So I'd love to keep myself active. Again, like I jog from like the Serie to like sort of TV, and like do that sort of thing, there and back being one, and I do that like 30 times. So I try and keep as fit as possible. I'd love to sleep a lot less because I seem to like sort of sleep quite a lot. So I'd love to somehow get more energy so I can sleep a lot less. But I think I'd probably have to improve my diet. And being vegetarian, it's quite hard to get the amount of protein or iron or energy in that to keep myself active. And again, sleep as little as possible, and try and do more stuff like writing. I say, on that note, number 9, again, I'd love to do at least an hour's writing, or as many hours as possible, and like write as much as possible as soon as I come up with an idea, and be able to sort out my paperwork each day, like what I want to do with my paperwork, and how I hope my paperwork will make the world a better place for as many people as possible. And again, like to support nature and animals and that sort of thing. Planting more trees, and like sharing ideas and networking with more people, whether that's online or in person in the future. And number 10, I'd love to support as many young people around the world, especially in developing or colonized countries, as possible. And I think that covers everything for part 1. Sorry if I spoke really fast, I was a bit nervous, but anyway, I hope someone out there enjoyed it, and I really appreciate your likes. I probably should have said that in the intro. And please share the video and like and comment, and support my channel as much as possible. I really appreciate it. And as ever, comments welcome. Peace and love.